Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke ended 3 days of campaigning across the state at Clemson University this afternoon. The former congressman, who's a Texan, tipped his hat to the Tigers.
How you guys doing? Good to see you. Good to be with you. Clemson, how are you feeling? Right on.
O'Rourke first talked about his main platform, immigration, highlighting his opposition to President Trump's policies at the border. He also touched upon racial injustice issues in America, hoping to reach black voters, which make up the majority of the Democratic primary electorate. Now, some in the crowds today, made up of mostly Clemson students, told us they're impressed with O'Rourke's focus on uniting the country.
All of us, even at Clemson, we have friends that might not be legally here, but more than anything, they're human, and that speaks something to us.
We all want equal rights for each other, so I feel like the women in my family would most definitely be on board with everything that he's about.
How many miles did you travel to get here today?
4 hours. I don't know how many miles. It was 4 hours.
4 hours.
Yes, we're from Kingsport, Tennessee.
Okay. This marks O'Rourke's second trip to South Carolina since he announced, which holds the first presidential primary in the South.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Appreciate you giving us some time. O'Rourke stepped aside to take some questions one-on-one with 7 News moments after he left the stage, where he touched on numerous issues. If you are elected president, on day one, what's the one that gets your attention first?
I want to make sure that everyone is well enough to work a job, pursue their education, attend Clemson, raise their families, whatever they were put on this earth to do. If they are unable to afford prescription medication, if their premiums are too high, if the deductible is unbridgeable, they're not going to be well enough to get that done. So expanding Medicaid in states like my home state of Texas, in your state of South Carolina, making prescription drug prices lower by using the bargaining power of Medicare and the amount of prescription medications that we purchase as a government, and then getting to universal guaranteed high quality health care.
Just elephant in the room, looking at the crowd today, largely white. There were some African Americans in the crowd. Do you believe that your message here in South Carolina with illegal immigration and everything else is resonating with black women voters?
I'm listening to everyone in this state, including African American women who are leaders not just today, but we were just at the Medical University of South Carolina March commemorating the 50th anniversary of a strike by African American women who demanded equal wages to white women and white men in the same facility. Their example is the inspiration to us today in 2019, but also a reminder that we're not yet there at this moment. Women are still not making what men are making in this state. We still have 10 times the wealth in white America that we do in black America. 2 of your Democratic opponents right now, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, have said they support the idea of reparations. Where do you stand on that issue? At the root of the word reparation is the idea of repair. In order to be able to repair the injustice, the wrongs committed from the very moment this country was founded, we need to know the truth. Today at Clemson, we talked about Tillman Hall, named after not just a former governor and former U.S. senator, but someone who was part of a white terrorist organization that killed African Americans in this state. That story has to be told, and it's not next to his statue in Columbia on the State House grounds. It's not here in Clemson next to Tillman Hall. Until we have truth and facts and a common understanding of our common story, common to all of us, we're not going to be able to repair the damage done or prevent future injustices from being committed. So that truth.
This weekend, O'Rourke gained his first endorsement from a South Carolina lawmaker. On Saturday, his campaign announced the backing of State Rep. Marvin Pendarvis of Charleston.